Howdy folks, I'm Wally the Chartreuse Zombie.
I'm Amber.
And here's some Reddit. Alright, our first letter is titled, Am I the Jerk for Reporting My Boss Over a Nickname? I'm a 31-year-old female, and I recently started a new job a few months ago. It's a 5-guys office, plus the boss. The boss is one of those guys who thinks he has natural charm that the ladies would instantly fall for. But he looks like a thumb. And he has a lot of dumb confidence for making inappropriate comments even when talking to me about work issues. This already sounds bad. I keep him at arm's length and I'm very professional with my workmates. Well, some days ago, I was chasing after a workmate because one was procrastinating on sending me a document. I went to him and I made him send it to me and he said okay. Took his phone, opened the message app, and sent me the file. But looking at it, I noticed that he saved my number as Jessica Rabbit. I asked him about it, confused, and he looked at me, shocked, eyes wide open. Just said that I'm sorry. I didn't let it go, and I started interrogating him until he confessed that the boss always calls me Jessica Rabbit. Poor form, folks, poor form. To be clear, I am naturally a redhead, and I got it from my mom, and I dye my hair red when it gets darker, but I don't look like Jessica Rabbit. I'm as flat as a table. Yes, I had trust issues about it, and I worked very hard with my body. I despise the thought of being compared to a hypersexualized cartoon character. I talked to my boss when he came into the office, and I asked him about the nickname. He just said, because you're both sexy redheads. Gross. Gross. And I told him to stop it because I don't feel safe, and he just said, why are you so angry? It's a compliment. And I said, it's not, and I stormed out. I went to HR to make a formal complaint. The HR lady said that she'll process the complaint, but it was worthless because the boss is just like that. Oh yeah, that's great. I told her that I don't like my boss's attitude and it needed to stop. Since then, the boss has stopped talking to me and my workmates say that I'm way too dramatic and don't know how to take a compliment. Also, they complain that they don't feel safe around me because they don't know if I'll twist their words somehow. Am I the jerk here? All right, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk. OP gets a 0 out of 5 on the jerk scale. Everyone else gets at least a 4 out of 5, if not a 5 out of 5.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty reasonable. I think the boss gets a solid 5 out of 5,
yeah.
And he's acting like a very bad boss and a very bad example. This should be a work environment that you feel safe in. You shouldn't feel objectified while you're working. You should be treated based on how your job performance is and not whether or not you're a sexy redhead, right?
Yeah, well, this is workplace sexual harassment.
Yeah, this is for sure workplace sexual harassment.
I would say, OP, start looking for a new job ASAP and document everything because it sounds like they may try to sack you and you want documentation that they're doing this because you filed the complaint.
Yeah, and that's really what this sounds like. I mean, they've become hostile towards you because you put your foot down and said, no, I don't want to be treated this way. I want to be treated like an equal. And that's really what this boils down to. I think that this is really in poor taste of them, and I think that you're well within your right to be unhappy with this, OP. It's a really gross situation. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And OE Zoe says, oh wow, not the jerk at all. This is sexual harassment. The nickname is inappropriate and calling you a sexy redhead is inappropriate. HR is not doing their job. This company needs to be reported if HR tolerates this kind of behavior from their management. For sure. For sure. And Potential Lavishness says, if they aren't doing their job protecting the company from lawsuits, then that means there's an opening for a lawsuit. Just saying. Yeah, I mean, this screams somebody's gonna get sued, right? That's really what this boils down to. They needed to nip this in the bud a long time ago. All right, folks, we have a little bit of an update that I wanted to throw in here. It's very brief. This is the one from the other day. Am I the jerk for bringing my husband over even though I was told not to? Basic summary, she brought her husband over when her sister said not to and made the whole situation awkward, right? So let's read this edit. Edit. Some people have the same concern I've had for 8 years now. I think my sister does have a crush on my husband, but I'm not 100% sure if it is the case. The only evidence I have is sometimes I catch her staring at him. I'll say something silly like, "You like what you see?" And she'll say, "No, I just like his shirt." And sometimes she'll look at him and say to me, "I wish I had what you have." But I always assumed that she was talking about a family in general and not my husband specifically. Edit. Hey guys, I wanted to say that a lot of you were totally right, and I totally should have let my husband know. And I should have just told my sister straight up that I'm either going with my husband or not at all. I just didn't think of that. That being said, here's the real reason for this edit. I took your guys' advice, I called her up and I apologized, and then I asked her straight up, "Do you have a crush on my husband?" She stuttered a ton and then said, "A little bit." So, I think that's the answer. Should boyfriend know? Should my husband know? I don't know. What is the right thing to do here? How am I going to tell my husband that my sister has a crush on him? All right, folks. What do you think of that update?
I mean, I think straightforward. I don't think the boyfriend necessarily needs to know.
Yeah.
I do think the husband should be told just so he understands it's not my sister hates you.
Yeah.
She has a crush on you and finds it hard to be around you.
Yeah.
But you have to like say it to him in like absolute confidence, like, just so you know, this is what's really going on. It's not a big deal. But she doesn't hate you.
Yeah, well, and I think that this is something that she should sit down and talk and work out with her sister. And I think that they need to have a heart-to-heart and just have things sorted out that way. They're adults, they can work these things out. Crushes are a part of life. She didn't do anything wrong by having a crush on him. She's not actively trying to seduce him or something like that and wreck their family or anything like that. And it's just that she didn't feel comfortable in this situation and she was trying to distance herself from that. So, no, I don't think anyone is a jerk for that reason, in this update at least. So, anyhow, take care and good luck. Oh, and thank you to KAOTIC for letting me know about this update. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much. All right, our next letter is titled, "Am I the jerk for threatening to kick out my coworker/roommate for kissing my best friend?" All right, folks, hang on to your seats. This one is a little bit odd and it's going to not make any sense. So, around February, I, a 23-year-old, let my coworker, Jaden, a 25-year-old, and his daughter, Leah, a 6-year-old, move in. We were coworkers and friends for 3 years, and he's always been funny, smart, and cute. We became really close friends. Unfortunately, work decided that they couldn't afford to keep everyone, and they've been making cuts, and Jaden was basically forced to quit. I know that he was really worried about his rent and everything, and my roommate was leaving, so I offered for him to stay with me, and we worked out an agreement. We decided that while he's looking for a job, that he would help with all the chores and the errands and the housework. It's honestly been amazing having him live with me. He's such a great cook, and Leah has actually been really well behaved and sweet. He's helped me out a lot, and I really enjoyed being able to spend all this time with him. And he has found some part-time work, but nothing that pays enough for him to live alone. So we've mostly kept our agreement just with me doing more and helping him pay a little bit. Well, my friends have come over quite a few times and obviously met him. Last weekend, I had a bunch of my friends stay over. I thought it went great, but the next day, Leah told me that she saw Jaden kiss my best friend. I was really upset, and Jaden and I ended up arguing about it, and I told him how betrayed I felt. He tried to say it was fine, that apparently the kiss wasn't intentional, and he didn't say anything because they didn't know what it meant. But it's still wrong. I'm doing so much only for him to do this to me. I got upset and I told him that he will have to leave if he just wants to take advantage of my kindness. That I don't want to live with someone who betrays me like that. He was offended and just tried to act like it was no big deal and that I was acting crazy. He thinks that I have no right to say anything about his love life, even though it's my best friend and I'm doing so much for him. Our talk didn't really work out, but I did talk to my best friend and she agreed to back off. Well, the last few days have been horrible, and he doesn't think that he's done anything wrong. I've tried to talk again, but now he refuses and he's been really cold, and told me that he'll move out as soon as he can. I don't think I've done anything wrong. It's his own fault. I want to work this out, but he shouldn't be going around kissing my friends. But the fighting has really upset Leah, and obviously Jaden thinks that I'm the jerk, even if he's being selfish. Edit. I'm not jealous. This isn't about that. I'm not in love with him or anything. I would know if I was. This is just about him betraying me, about him going behind my back. Clearly, everyone's the type here to just hook up without caring about anyone else. There's way too many people to respond to now. Like I've said, this isn't about jealousy. I'm not in love with Jaden. It's just about rude and ungrateful to sneak around and do what he did. Somebody doth protest too much. All right, folks, what do you think, jerk or not the jerk?
You're the jerk and also deluding yourself. Like, how is two consenting adults who are not in relationships sharing a kiss betraying you?
Well, I think that there's either OP is in love with Jaden, or, and it doesn't want to admit it and doesn't want to acknowledge those feelings, or they're in love with their best friend. And one of those cases means that OP is feeling a lot of jealousy towards that situation, right? So OP may feel jealous that their friend has, started falling in love with Jaden. Maybe they don't like change, and they don't like to have the status quo change on them. And this just feels like OP might be being pushed out of this whole friendship type thing. But whatever it is, OP has a lot of things to work on for themselves. No one else in the situation is wrong here, right? It's not wrong for two consenting adults to have relationships with each other, even if those people are your friends, right? Sometimes that's what happens. Like when you introduce your friends to other friends, sometimes they end up falling in love, and that's can be a beautiful thing, but it can also be a little bit discouraging because you might feel like a part of your friendship circle is like leaving you, right? So OP, I understand your frustration, and maybe you aren't in love with these people, but from the tone and demeanor of your letter, it does not seem that way. It seems you're hurt because somebody is betraying you, and the only reason someone would betray you in this situation is that you feel like they aren't reciprocating with your affections. So that's how I'm reading this one, and I'm giving you a very gentle 3 out of 5 on the jerk scale, maybe 2, I don't know, but it shouldn't have escalated to this point.
Yeah, I'm leaning toward 3 just because they're like kicking their friend out over this. Well, kicking Jaden out.
Well, and threatening to kick him out, right? And then also talking to your friend about this. Like, your friend should be able to make their own decisions in their love life. And then Jaden and the other friend, I'm going to give them no jerks, right? Because there wasn't anything wrong here. They were completely fine, in my opinion. Let me know what you folks think. Let me know if you think that our scale is right or wrong. Anyhow, take care and good luck. And Chillstoner0604 says, info, are you guys in a relationship? Edited ad, you're the jerk. You are possessive of someone that you aren't even in a relationship with. And Viva Me says, OP wouldn't say no to a relationship, but she isn't in love or anything. Honestly, the only betrayal I see here is a self-betrayal in the form of denial. All right, folks, our last letter is titled, Am I the jerk for not telling my boyfriend that I work with men? No. You're not the jerk for that. My boyfriend Colin and I have been together for 7 months now. He just found out that I work with men and flipped out. I work in IT, a very male-dominated field, and my team consists of 1 other woman and a bunch of men. My team is great, and we often meet up outside of work too for drinks, board games, sports, etc. Well, last weekend, we had a weekend team building event, and we rented 2 houses to stay in. The problem arose when I showed my boyfriend a picture of the team event. He asked me where all my female colleagues were, and I told him that I only have 1 female coworker and the rest are men. He got angry and accused me of lying to him. I never lied to him. He just never asked about the male to female ratio at my work. He said that it's lying by omission and that I kept a secret from him because no man would want their girlfriend to hang out with so many men. And he also accused me of deliberately using misleading nicknames when talking about my colleagues like Danny, so he would think that I'm talking about a Danielle and not a Danielle. Our language doesn't have gendered pronouns. Seriously, I work in IT. I thought it was a given that I mostly work with men. I think these accusations are baseless, and I don't get what's wrong with this socializing with any of my male coworkers. I told my brother about it, expecting him to be on my side, but he said that even though I'm not wrong, I should have known that Colin wouldn't like me going on an overnight trip with a bunch of men. I think this whole situation is ridiculous, but my brother made me think that maybe it's something that I should have told Colin about. Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think, jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk. Every job I've had, I've worked with men, and I've never been like, oh, hey, Brian, by the way, I have male coworkers.
I think working in a civilization, you expect that you're going to have men and women in your teams. Mm-hmm. Plain and simple, this is a reasonable expectation, OP. It's given. Mm-hmm. You will work with men. Let this be a lesson to Colin to know that from here on out, you, even though you aren't explicitly saying that, oh, this is a man and I'm working with a man, you're literally working with men.
And this is a big red flag on his part. Yeah. Like, I would look at the relationship very carefully, because if he's concerned about the fact that you work with men and are trying to paint this as some kind of lie by omission when you literally just didn't think to tell him, because why would you? Like, that's a problem.
Exactly. I think that there is a red flag here. I'm going to give OP a 0 goose egg out of 5 for the jerk scale. And I'm going to give Colin at least a 4. I don't know. And the brother, what do we brothers get? I think the brother gets a 2.
Yeah.
He has a gross attitude, and to say that, oh, you should have known better. Why? Why should you have known better? Mm-hmm. It's a team building event. I would understand it if you were sleeping in the same bed as like the other guys here. Then maybe, just maybe, he might have like a legitimate complaint to be like, oh yeah, I don't like the fact that you're sleeping in the same bed as your male coworkers. But that's not what happened here, right? So I think everyone's just acting ridiculous other than OP. Mm-hmm. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Outrageous City 5022 says, leave now before wasting any more time on this insecure, controlling, misogynistic jerk. Oh, and not the jerk, not even close. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I have some tea over here. Oops. And Amber has some tea over there. I just smacked it into the microphone. So I hope you enjoyed that sound. Amber also has a joke for us.
Did you hear about the baker who left his job?
I did hear about the baker that left his job. It was pretty deflating of him.
He didn't need the dough.
He didn't need the dough. And he didn't leave his job voluntarily, then I take it. He was probably let go. He was laid off for not doing his work. And despite what Amber has said, I have licorice spice, but I really should have had mint. Let me put it that way. Amber's a liar. We all know that she is. She and Google are conspiring to make us all wrong. And I will not stand for this anymore. And I hope you don't either.
All right, you can pick your tea from now on then.
Oh, that's gonna hurt me. I'll guess it right every day. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, consider giving me a like. And if you didn't, consider giving me a dislike. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you all tomorrow.
Bye.
I went to HR to do a formal complaint, and the OIT lady. OIT? Where did OIT come from? There's no OIT in an H.